Building good sentence structure, part 2, complex and compound sentences. These are the last two types of sentences that we're going to talk about when creating good sentence structure in your writing. Now, a complex sentence is just a sentence that is joined up with an independent clause, which is considered a complete sentence, and a dependent clause, which is what we like to call an incomplete sentence. Now, these clauses are linked still by conjunctions, but this time they're linked by what's called subordinating conjunctions. And all a subordinating conjunction is a conjunction that connects unequal elements. So we're still taking two clauses or sentences and combining them, but these sentences are unequal, whereas compound sentences, they're equal in some kind of way. Now, a complex sentence, once again, has two parts. The independent clause is really simple and easy to spot. The dependent clause is what we have to begin working on. Now, there are two ways that you can write a complex sentence. The first way is when you have the dependent clause coming first, and you always want to have a comma. So let's look at this sentence right here. After we left the show. So this right here is my dependent clause. After we left the show is a dependent clause, or the incomplete thought. Now, if you noticed, that incomplete thought started with a subordinating conjunction. Let's take a minute and look at some subordinating conjunctions. So you want to be able to recognize the subordinate conjunction when you see one. So the essential ingredient to every complex sentence is and are these subordinate conjunctions. So take a second and write down this list of subordinate conjunctions. So the easiest way that you can, in essence, recognize a complex sentence is if you look for one of these subordinate conjunctions that will start that sentence. So let's look at this right here. What is the subordinate conjunction in this sentence? You should go to the bus stop because your bus is arriving soon. Because it's a subordinating conjunction, and it completes the incomplete thought because your bus is arriving soon. We call it a dependent clause or an incomplete thought because when you say it, it doesn't express a completeness the way you should go to the bus stop does. Let's look at some more. So the second type of sentence is a compound complex sentence, which has a compound sentence and also has a dependent clause attached to it. So let's look at this example right here. When I go to bed at night, we already know that's our incomplete thought or our dependent clause because we see the subordinate conjunction when, which starts the dependent clause. I always put on a CD of frogs croaking, comma, and I usually fall asleep within a few minutes. So I have one independent clause or one full complete thought. I always put on a CD of frogs croaking. My second complete independent thought, I usually fall asleep within a few minutes. So in building sentence structure, I decide to combine these two to make a compound sentence. And because I have then I add to it when I go to bed at night. Let's try right here. Aziz decided to go to the movies. That's my first independent clause. So I combine it with my second independent clause. He got his usual small popcorn. And then I have my subordinated conjunction before he found a seat. The last thing we want to talk about is the fact that each type of sentence we've just discussed serves different purposes. So, simple sentences, once again, they have a subject and a predicate, therefore making direct statements. I am hungry. That's a direct statement, clear cut to the point. Compound sentences, made up of two simple sentences joined by a fanboy, they're when you want to discuss ideas that are equal in importance. Even though they may disagree, they're still equal in importance. I have no money, comma, and I want to eat a sandwich. Or I have no money, comma, but I want to eat a sandwich. I have no money, comma, yet I want to eat a sandwich. Remember, yet, but's evil twin brother. A complex sentence is when you have two ideas, but one is more important than the other. And remember, one of those ideas is always going to begin with one of our subordinate conjunctions. So, if I am hungry, comma, I get upset easily. And the last one is a compound complex sentence. That's where you want to combine equal important sentences and then add in an element that's unequal. If I am hungry and I have no money, I get upset easily. So if I am hungry is my dependent clause. I have no money, I get upset easily are my two simple sentences. So the last activity, whenever Marlon is sad, Eric makes him feel better. So already I recognize whenever. That's a subordinate conjunction. So I know this is a complex sentence. And I know it's placing one idea on another. Which sentence is presenting two equally important ideas? Eric enjoys playing baseball, but Marlon prefers soccer. And which one is making a direct statement? Eric and Marlon have always been best friends. Even though it has two subjects, it still has one predicate, have always been best friends.